Hello, dear friends. Good morning, good afternoon, freedom fighters, lovers of freedom all over the world. I welcome you today. Thank God it's Friday. Another Friday is here, just like joke. Yes, you have to have time for God. I remind you, as your sister, time out for God and for yourself this weekend, and that will be a very good rest. Okay, remember to keep the Sabbath. Thank you very much. Okay, the news that brought us here is that there's this propaganda that Nigeria government is flying up and down. They said Finnish minister to Nigeria said that they will see to the end, or they will end anything Simon Ekpa. They've been jubilating in their hearts that, oh, Simon Ekpa will be put to an end. But I want to give you a shock. The Finnish government has just, responded to them, to Nigeria government, responded to them. Their own was propaganda, and this is the real response from Finnish government. All right, let's go into the video, and our brother will do justice to that, okay? Over to you, my brother.
The Finnish government has assured Nigeria that the legal proceedings involving Simon Ekpa will be concluded soon. Of course, it will be concluded soon. In fact, to be honest with you, it has already been concluded. Yes, because Finland can never pay attention to the demands or pressure from the Zoological Republic, a terrorist country. A country like Finland can never pay attention to a terrorist country like the zoo. Now they continued. This was disclosed by Finland's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Elina Veltonen, after a meeting between Nigeria's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Yusuf Tugar, and the Foreign Minister of Sweden, Finland, Ireland, and as well as representatives from Norway and Denmark. Addressing journalists after the meeting, which held in Abuja, Veltonen said Ekpa'S case was being handled through Finland's judicial system, which operates strictly by the rule of law. Which operates strictly by the rule of law. Now pay attention. She's about to say something very, very important. Ekpa, who resides in Finland, had been linked to the violence in the southeast. The self-acclaimed Prime Minister of Biafra is believed to be behind those referred to unknown gunmen. There is nothing like unknown gunmen. We have Biafra Liberation Army, Biafra Resistance Fighters, and of course, the Biafra Navy. We have gone beyond the era of unknown gunmen. We are now in a government. Following his link to insecurity in Nigeria, the zoo journalists, that's why we call them zoo gutter media. Zoo gutter media. Following his insecurity, his link to insecurity in Nigeria. Which Nigeria? Somebody tells you that he is no longer involved with war, with your shenanigans, with whatever you are doing, with your name, your entity. Allow him to breathe. Allow him to be alone. Leave him alone. You are still referring Biafra land as part of Nigeria. You are not just a mad person, but you are a dumb. Now, they say some Nigerians had called on the federal government to repatriate Ekpa back to the country to face prosecution for his actions. Which country? To Biafra land? However, Tugar, after the discussion with the 5 Nordic delegates, confirmed that the Ekpa issue was a central topic in his discussions with Veltonen. And he continued, it was a priority. There is no way Nigeria would engage with Finland without raising the issue of Simon Ekpa vociferously, Tugar said. Speaking, Veltonen reaffirmed Finland's commitment to working with Nigeria on the matter. If you are referring to a specific person operating in Finland in a less than constructive manner, we have discussed this with the Nigerian authorities. Pay attention to this. Both our judicial systems are collaborating on this matter, and we hope it will soon be resolved. Both governments have stressed that the case is not a political issue, but rather a judicial one. Did you get that? Now, let me finish it and then I'll come back here. Reaffirming their commitment to upholding the law as the proceedings unfold, Vertonen stated. Listen, she said here, because a lot of people did not pay attention to this. They said here, both governments have stressed that the case is not a political issue, but rather a judicial one. Of which she has already told you that their law is very, very strict. Now, if it's for the zoo government, they want it to be a political matter, which is exactly what they learned from Britain. They would have preferred it to be a political matter, because when it is a political matter, you begin to talk about relationship, bilateral relations and agreements. You begin to talk about these things. You begin to talk about, give me, I give you. What am I going to gain? If I give you this person, what will I gain in return? If I do this, what will you do for me? That is politics and political. Are you paying attention? So the woman has let them know without mincing word that this matter is not political. It is going to be a judicial matter based on law of their land. Look at it. Both our judicial systems are collaborating on this matter, and we hope it will soon be resolved. Both governments, because the zoo wanted it to be, political thing, but Finland has let them know that it is a judicial thing. Both governments have stressed that the case is not a political issue, but rather a judicial one. Now, when you go up here, she said, addressing journalists after the meeting, which held in Abuja, Vertonen said Ekpa'S case was being handled through Finland's judicial system, which operates strictly by the rule of law. I don't want to go into the details of telling you what the Prime Minister said yesterday, how Finland fought their own wars, to obtain independence and all that, by force, not by beg. And this is their history. And they know how it's been done. They know how independence is being, obtained. So I don't have to go into that details because, first of all, I don't know much about their history. And again, the Prime Minister tossed everything yesterday for the whole world to hear. So that is it. Now, because I don't want to talk too much concerning this very matter, I have let you know. Anybody thinking that the Finland people or Finnish government will be, handing Mazi Simon Ekpa to the zoo, you have to go and rethink. They have made it very, very categorically clear that the Prime Minister's matter is not a political issue. It has absolutely nothing to do with politics. If they had allowed it to be a political matter, just as Britain took the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu on their head, and it was very heavy for them. They made it political, and they have to, use Kenya to commit the crime, because they knew if he was in their land, if he was in UK, it can never be a political matter. It would have been a judicial matter. Then they waited and used some individuals close to him to lure him to Kenya. And then they used political matters, settled the Kenya government and all that, and then they kidnapped him and renditioned him to the zoo. Because of what? They made it a political matter between the zoo, Britain, and Kenya. But Finland is telling you the truth, that it is not a political matter, rather it is a law, a judicial matter. And we are going to follow it by law, based on law. And this same law that says you have the right for self-determination, you have the right to, to free yourself from the bondage of colonization. Also, Chigona, it is over. Now I want you to watch the video to Salo Nomozia and make it go viral.
In a not very, constructive manner, then indeed we have taken this up and discussed this with the Nigerian authorities in full collaboration. Mm-hmm. And the entire process is within our judicial system, and in Finland, who operates very strictly by the rule of law, such as we see that Nigeria is doing as well. It is not a political question, but it is a question to the judicial system. And both our judicial systems do collaborate on this matter, and we hope that we will be able to close it soon. What comes to education, indeed, I guess all of us in the Nordics pride ourselves of focusing very much on human capital and education, since in order to thrive and prosper, we not only need stability and trust in our societies, but we also need for the possibility for each and every individual, independent of where he or she comes from, the possibility to thrive in her life based on education and the ability to work and be an entrepreneur.
Oh, wow, this is very, very interesting. Yes, better. They think it is a political matter. It is not. It has to be judged in the judiciary of Finland, not in Nigeria, because Nigeria has lost their judiciary. So those that are jubilating, I don't know what your fate will be, because Ikpe ga-amagodo there first of all. You will tell us why you don't want to conduct referendum. You will tell us how freedom fighting is criminal matter. You will tell us how. You will tell us how a particular region will not have their own security. You will tell us why. You will also tell us why, if you're not feeling good for a particular thing, democratically you need to change it. Why is Nigeria not changing their constitution? Why are they not conducting referendum and allow people to decide? That's why you have to tell us, okay? So I want to wrap it up here. Thank you, our brother, for doing justice to this very news. I love what you said, and I've learned a lot from here. Thank you. And please, my people, help me to share. Help me to like and also subscribe.